What are some of the things you've learned?
For the ASMs? I guess my thing is the daily communication is very important. My numbers, the numbers that the girls turn every day, I email it to them every day. If I don't, I get a phone call or I get an email or I get paged, and it's, hey, where are our numbers today? So they're paying attention to it every single day, and if they don't get it, they want to know what's going on. Incentivize, I think it's based off of performance. You gotta do something based off of performance. I think that's going to be an individual dealership thing. You gotta make sure these people are well compensated, or else you're going to get what you pay for. Training them is the most important thing. Train them to do the job. If you follow the processes, it'll work. But if you don't, you're going to lose. So that's the most important thing.
In the technician area, and we're talking kind of a compensation versus spiff versus maybe some competition between the teams. How have you handled that?
I'm still working on that. I do have 2 advanced teams. One advanced team is up here. One of them's down here. Over the next couple of months, my goal is to try and get the lower level team to step up to the A team. I don't know how I'm going to do it yet. It's going to be performance based, obviously, but we'll see. Right now, it's more of a one team is more aggressive versus the other team is just doing their jobs. You know what I mean? And that's a personality thing. I don't think the lower end team is not doing a capable, competent job. I just don't think they're as aggressive as the top team. So,
given your experience and running a very solid operation, what would you say to someone as you once were, looking at TXM, thinking about it? How would you help them cross the threshold that you did?
You're a dummy if you don't. I mean, that's the bottom line. It's to me, it's hard to say. I mean, outside looking in, when I was looking in, when we first looked at this process, it was I thought, no way, we're not going to be able to do it. I always keep an open mind. I'm not afraid to change or anything like that. I just felt like the way we are positioned, the way our facility is challenged, I just thought that there's just no way we could make this process work because it's a choreographed process. You have to cut it and make it work for your dealership, or if you're not going to build a facility around the process, then you're going to have to make it work for you. There is a way to make it happen. The only way to make it happen is to start doing it. It'll save you money. It's going to cost you time. It'll cost you work. You're going to definitely, it takes a lot of work. It's not something you just sign up and it works. You have to work the program. You have to make it happen. And we committed to do that, so that's what we're doing.
Top 5 success factors. You've said a lot, but are there 5 things or a few things that you could just bullet point for people to take away from your experience?
Better customer experience, period. Timeliness. Our major issues with CSI was the customers are waiting too long. Just doing an oil change, 2 to 3 hours. Those 2 things alone, me personally, I think about the customer first. That's my job. Make sure they have a good experience. Get the cars in as quickly and out as quickly with quality work. So that being said, this program fixes all those things, and it does it pretty quickly as long as you follow it. So I don't know if there's top 5. I wasn't looking into it for the dollar amount. I can say that the parts department, obviously, they've grown because of TXM. Labor has increased. It's increased to the point not where we're setting the world on fire versus what we did the year before, because we've been pretty profitable. But the number one thing is our customer satisfaction index is going up. It's steadily going up since we started this, because we're able to handle customers more efficiently. And that's the most important thing to me. We've got to be able to take care of the people that take care of us. And those are the customers that come through that door. So you get your appointments processes set, you get the customer experience down to an hour or less, and you offer them a reason to come back. What more can you ask for?
And there's at least 3 instances that I know of. One where your ladies who moved over into being your ASM started at different places in the dealership and ended up there. You also had young technicians who came in who have moved on to do other things within the dealership technically. And then you also have people who have transferred from department to department because they started in TXM, like in parts.
Right.
Can you kind of talk about that movement, if it surprised you, if you're...
Well, it really did surprise me. First, we hired at least one lady for a cashier position. She worked out great as a cashier. Unfortunately, during that time, I lost a reservationist. So when that position became available, she moved from cashier to reservationist. It was a little bump in pay. Plus, it's a little less grueling. You're on the phones more, but you're not dealing with the customer face-to-face as much. Well, after being on the phones for a while, doing the reservations, she saw the opening for the TXM because we were instead of needing 2 people, we needed 3. So we had an opening. She's already learned the computer system. She knows what we do out there. So from reservationist, she went into TXM, and she's flourished. She's done a great job. Now I've had to replace a cashier, and then I had to replace a reservationist because she moved through that. But it also cross-trained. I mean, now let's say we're slow in TXM. I can always throw her back as a reservationist. She can answer my phones for a day. She can also be a cashier for a day. So in the dealership, there is no one job. You're always multitasking. You're always doing somebody else's job. I'm a porter half the day. So you have to learn to adapt, and you have to be able to, you got to be able to do anything when you're at a dealership. As far as the technicians, I've had guys that I've hired as porters. I needed more porters because we're moving cars from building to building to building. So I hired these guys as porters. After they've been here for a few months, they see an advanced or a basic position open. They want to start being a technician. So we threw them in there. We taught them how to change oil, how to rotate tires, how to do the MPI. We do that, and a couple of them have moved from starting off as a porter to become a basic team, on the basic team. Now one has gone from porter to basic and now is on advanced. And that's in, I want to say a year and a half that he's moved that level, and he's competent. So we also had a guy that started off as Express Lube tech. He became basic. There was a position open in parts. He decided that wasn't the job for him in basic. He moved to the parts department. But he knows, coming from basic, what those guys need, what they go through. So he's not your typical parts guy. He's the guy that knows now what we go through in service. So he's a little bit more helpful to us when we come to that back counter. So, you know, you could go through, I don't know what's going to happen in the future. Who knows who's going to move from where to where to where. I can tell you that I have a few basic guys right now that are also in T10, the T10 program. Those guys are, this is just a stepping stone for them. They're in T10, they're in basic, they're going to go to advanced, and they're going to eventually become team or techs in my main shop. So there's a career path. I never had a career path in this business for my shop. I really didn't. I didn't have enough space. You became a tech, the only way you got another move up was somebody had to leave. When somebody left, then yeah, I can get another master tech or whatever. I don't have to hire master techs anymore. I don't have to, I hire porters, and then I move people around, and it evolves, and it works. And it's a lot easier to hire a porter than it is for me to go out looking for somebody that doesn't know our system but knows somebody else's system. I don't have to teach a dog new tricks. They start off at the bottom, they have a way to go, and they move. And it works a whole lot better. Growing your own definitely works a whole lot better than me getting it from somebody else. They're coming in, they're already set in their ways, they already do things a certain way. This is the way we do it at our dealership. Well, we don't do it that way here. We do it this way here. And, you know, you don't, that's a lot, it takes a lot for people to change, you know? So the way we're doing it now, I think, is the best way possible.
That's exciting stuff, Mike. If I was to ask one other question, is that your partner, the parts manager, does a very nice job.
Right.
Was it always that way?
No. I think Kurt, he does a great job. But as far as, you know, this is a huge change in parts world. Is they don't like to even let those letters in their department, let alone speak that word change. When he had to come to realization that we have to have the parts, we have to have them quicker, we have to be able to get access to them. Some of our, he even suggested that maybe the ASMs bill parts on the ticket at some point. Now, we haven't gone there because it's just been more of a challenge for us to do it, but he suggested that at one point. And that's, you would have never heard that. I think you saw him do backflips when we first mentioned, hey, there's dealerships out here where ASMs put parts on tickets. I think he ran into a closet and hid for a month. Now he's the one suggesting maybe we could go that route because it'll actually be easier on him. So it's, I think once he saw that our cabin air filters, we went up 300% in sales. Air filters, the same thing. Wipers, we've gone up. Batteries, we've gone up. Tires, we've gone up. With all of those things going up, how can he say, well, I don't know, maybe we shouldn't do this program, or maybe I'm not going to follow what you guys are doing? He's on board now, which makes a huge difference, huge difference.
So